Hello, Wildcats. Kentucky point guard Kam Williams. We're going to win a national championship this year. He's already predicted the Cats' success. Will Kentucky arrive with all that potential? Let's analyze the news. Kam Williams didn't whisper. He shouted to the world what many Kentucky fans already feel in their hearts. We're going to win a national championship this year. The point guard statement, delivered with the confidence of someone who knows the weight of the jersey they wear, set BBN on fire the other day. It's curious to see how the conversation has changed in Lexington. Just a few months ago, there was talk of rebuilding adaptation and how Mark Pope would inherit a thankless task, succeeding a legendary name and restoring pride to college basketball's most demanding base. But it only took a few months for the tone to change. Pope didn't just build a competitive roster. He assembled a deep, mature, and confident team. And Kam Williams is the symbol of this turnaround. The sophomore point guard doesn't shy away from the spotlight. He understands the weight of criticism and turns it into fuel. There are some skeptics out there, but starting tomorrow, we're going to give everyone a lot of emphasis that we're going to win the national championship, he said on the Wildcats Today podcast, with a confidence that echoed throughout Kentucky before the Purdue game. It's this kind of bravery, or perhaps audacity, that has always defined the Wildcats' great eras. Williams' talent is real. A 40% three-point shooting rate in his freshman year, a constant presence in NBA draft lottery simulations, and now a defensive evolution that makes him a complete piece. What's most exciting, however, isn't just his individual talent. It's the harmony between Coach Mark Pope's rhetoric and the team's attitude. Pope has repeatedly stated that Kentucky won't shy away from expectations, that being great is part of the school's DNA, and his players are echoing that with ease. It's not about arrogance, but conviction. Pope brought in experienced players through the transfer portal, shaped a rotation that blends youth and maturity, and, above all, revived the competitive spirit that had been dormant. While the national media still treats Kentucky cautiously, placing the team a step below the top favorites, the mood in Lexington is different. There's a quiet and now vocal confidence that something special is afoot. Williams seems determined to prove that Kentucky isn't just solid, but a legitimate title contender. And the friendly against Purdue will be the first chance to show it. Even without starting point guard Jalen Lowe and center Jaden Quaintance, the group wants to send a clear message. The new Kentucky is back on the big stage. Mark Pope knows that promising prospects don't win championships, but he also understands that championship teams are born from bowl mindsets. And Kam Williams showed that Kentucky has exactly that, a confidence bordering on insolence, the kind of spark that often ignites memorable campaigns. Let's go. Envy your feedback. Payne's later race. Historico. Salvas. Building a college football roster requires strategic vision, patience, and a dash of luck. Kentucky coach Mark Stoops has faced considerable challenges this season, but even in the face of adversity, he remains convinced that the program is moving forward. Despite the painful loss to Tennessee, in which the defense succumbed to a devastating offense, giving up 396 yards and 3 touchdowns, Stoops didn't shy away from questions and offered a candid analysis of the team's current situation. Injuries to the secondary were a crucial point discussed by Stoops. The coach acknowledged the impact of these absences, but maintained his stance of not using them as an excuse. "We did the best we could," he said when asked how circumstances forced adjustments within a group. The cornerback position, initially seen as a strength before the season, was shaken by the loss of key players like Terrion Nichols and DJ Waller. This forced Kentucky to turn to young players like Nasir Addison and Grant Grayton, who are still early in their college careers. For Stoops, the episode reinforces the need for depth at that position. You need 4 or 5 solid players there, and you can often rotate a guy. He could be your nickel and dimer every now and then, too. Still, Stoops sees progress where others might see only difficulties. With 50 new players added to the roster this season, 26 of them transfers, Kentucky had to make difficult choices within a limited budget. While the cornerback position was a clear need, greater focus was placed on areas like the offensive and defensive lines, as well as wide receivers. And in Stoops' eyes, these decisions paid off. "We're definitely better in certain areas," he declared. "I understand we're not complete, but you see the progress, you see the young guys, and we did the best we could." The increased revenue available to the program allowed Stoops to significantly expand its resources this past year. However, the coach emphasizes that drastic changes in the win-loss column don't happen overnight. "You still have to build a roster over at least 2 or 3 years," he pondered. This perspective contrasts with the recent rapid successes of rivals like Indiana and Louisville, whose rebuilds appear to have yielded more immediate results. However, Stoops remains confident that Kentucky's chosen path will lead to positive results in the medium term. A big reason for this confidence is the talent that has emerged directly from the youth ranks. High school recruits have been a source of pride for the program, with freshmen like Jason Patterson, Cutter Boley, and DJ Miller already demonstrating impressive skills. Patterson led the team in receptions against Tennessee, while Miller racked up 120 yards and 2 touchdowns in his second college game. Boley, for his part, broke freshman passing records in consecutive games. "These guys have stepped up. We're better because of them," Stoops said, emphasizing the value of these promising players for the team's future. Of course, having so many freshmen at key positions presents challenges. "It's tough," Stoops admitted. "You sit here and say, 'Hey, we need you to beat Tennessee or Auburn.' And as freshmen, they can definitely compliment you. But when you're counting on a lot of them to help you do that, it's tough." Even so, he sees something special in this group of youngsters. "We feel like we have a good group of freshmen and sophomores. We feel like we have some good players in both classes." While the numbers don't yet fully reflect the improvement Stoops has seen, the coach maintains the calm and determination characteristic of someone who knows that building a competitive team is a gradual process. The lessons learned this season will serve as fuel for future adjustments. You analyze, evaluate every year, and hopefully you only correct a few flaws. "You don't have to correct every flaw," he concluded. Amid the difficulties, Stoops projects optimism, firmly believing that Kentucky is on the right track, even if the immediate results don't yet live up to the program's ambitions. Share your thoughts.